Hello again. So in our previous module, which was module 7, we dealt with the 7 essential and basic marketing tools that you need to be starting to use and getting used to using on a regular basis in order to create a high level of visibility and also to start creeping up on that know me, like me, trust me continuum with your clients. And just to remind you, we spoke first about trying to get a branded photo shoot done, or at the very least a beautiful head and shoulders shot done and a full-length photograph done in your corporate colors, or something that is similar to your corporate colors. Making the most of your email signature so that people can very easily and quickly find their way to get in touch with you, and also find where they can get to know you a lot better. Your WhatsApp profile. I think this is really underrated and underused marketing real estate. And it's just so important that we make sure that our WhatsApp profiles, have a little bit of a teaser that is potentially going to bring business to us. Listing ourselves in online directories, and these are, online directories for our profession and for the professional bodies that govern our profession, plus any other professional bodies that you might belong to. Making sure that the profiles that we're using for now that we're working more and more online, making sure that the profiles that we're using for the various online tools like Skype, Zoom, GoToMeeting, even for WhatsApp video calls, making sure again that the branding on there shows your branded photograph, or a photograph of you wearing your corporate colors and representing what your company stands for. Finally, we spoke about LinkedIn and also about how to use Facebook. So I hope that you have started playing around a little bit, and certainly sorting out the ones that are easy to sort out, like your WhatsApp profile, your email signature, and your profiles on the things like Zoom and Skype and so on, and that you started to experiment and get a little bit more at ease with creating content and putting yourself out on social media, and also starting to see what other people are doing on social media. So use other people for your inspiration. It's at this point, though, that your research that you did right at the beginning, I think in about module 2, with your past and future ideal clients, is going to start giving you the foundation and the basis for the content that you will be creating and being able to put out on social media, which I'm going to be talking about in the next module. But today it's all about considering some additional sales rocket fuel tools that I think you should be putting onto your horizon. You should be putting onto your bucket list of things to add to what you are currently using. And if you cannot yourself master the technology, or get your head around mastering the technology to put these elements together, then you do need to start putting a budget aside, or creating a budget to be able to outsource it to people who can do it for you. So the 3 tools, very briefly, are firstly having a website, and your website does need to have blog functionality, and I will explain more about that when I come back to it. Secondly, I want you to consider, I've spoken often about live videos, and we know that the various social media and Google algorithms are starting to favor live video above static content. And in fact, I came across a statistic from HubSpot, which is quite a reliable marketing resource, that said that by the end of 2020, something like 83% of all content on the internet is going to be consumed in video formats. So again, I want to urge you to start getting your head around it, that this is the way that content is moving and shifting. And once again, remind you that if you have been attending Zoom calls for business, if you've been conducting Zoom or Skype coaching sessions, you have essentially already been starting to master the art of appearing on video. The only difference is going to be that there won't be somebody on the other side all the times responding to what you're saying or answering questions, that you will be having a little bit of a monologue similar to what I'm doing now. But you'd be surprised how quickly you learn, or how much you would have to say once you get over your fear of appearing on video. And the real secret of video, of any video, is the preparation that you put into it. You know, in the early days, I used to script out all of my videos word for word. And as I've gone along and gained more confidence and become more comfortable in front of the camera, now I just have a series of notes that I refer to just to keep me on track, because I have this dreadful habit of, kind of getting pulled off track and, going around and around before I get to the point that and this is a wonderful example of doing exactly that. So the second sales fuel tool that I want to recommend to you or suggest to you is using video, and in conjunction with that, creating your own YouTube channel. So, for example, whenever I do one of my Facebook Live broadcasts, I do weekly trainings on Facebook. I download it onto my computer, I put a header onto it, and I upload it to YouTube. This is not rocket science. This is plug and play stuff. The header I create using PowerPoint. The video I create using my Facebook Live. So I just download it in MP4 format, upload it into YouTube, add the PowerPoint slide that's got the front, header piece that I want, or the introductory slide that I want to show when people are searching for the video. And the real work actually is in putting a detailed description together that will attract people to actually click on your video and watch it. So that's, if you can write, really that's your biggest hurdle overcome, because the rest is just talking about what you're able to write about, talking about your intellectual property. Video is something that I cannot stress more and more vehemently, that you are going to need to overcome your fear and resistance to. And I am very happy to put you in contact with a colleague who helps train you to use video in the gentlest and most nurturing possible way. And I think she's outstanding. She's somebody that I've learned a lot from, and I'm happy to give you that referral. The third thing that you need to put into your bucket of sales fuel tools is some kind of email automation software, so that you can start building your own audience of people who are engaged with the work that you do, who are interested in the message that you want to put out in the world, and who want to hear from you on a regular basis in terms of your expertise and the intellectual property that you have built up over your years and years of experience. So I'm talking now about using software tools like MailChimp is probably the most common one. I use ConvertKit and I absolutely love it. I think it's expensive, but it is very easy to use. It does not have a free version. It only has, I think, a 14-day trial version. MailChimp has a free version until you hit 1,000 subscribers, and then you have to start paying to continue using MailChimp. There's another mailing software called MailerLite that is, similar to both ConvertKit and MailChimp. It's got nice functionality. It's also free to use up to, I think, about 1,000 subscribers, and I think it's becoming a little bit more popular than MailChimp because some of the functionality and automation that you used to be able to do on a free MailChimp account, they have taken away. So people are moving to alternatives that give you a little bit more flexibility around building automated what we call email funnels. Now, there are different types of email funnels, so basically what you want to be able to use an emailing tool for is to land directly into somebody's mailbox, and to do so in a way that is as deeply personalized as you can possibly be. So there's a way that you can segment and describe and tag the various people in your mailing list so that you can send a particular message, say, to your coaching clients or clients that you have worked with who've had particular challenges versus clients who fall into a different category or have had other kinds of challenges. And you might have run workshops in the past and want to keep up communication with the workshop participants on whatever the topic or subject of the workshop was. So it's really just about keeping in touch and communicating with people that you have done business with on an ongoing basis so that you keep those relationships warm. Now, I am going to do separate videos on each of these tools that I've discussed. So this is really just an introduction. But just finally, in terms of the types of email funnels that you would want to consider creating, the main types are what we call value funnels, which is where you communicate with someone on a regular basis. You might have something like an informative newsletter or use articles that you're posting on the blog, because the people who read the articles on your website might not be the same people who are in your email database. So you want to kind of repurpose and reuse content as much as possible and make sure that it gets seen by people. So this is your value content. The reason why we call it value is because it is giving people some kind of a valuable tip or hint or tool or list of things that they can do to change, modify their behavior, to overcome challenges, to deal with what they've got on their plate. So it's got content that is of value. The other kind of common funnel that we see building is that we see people building is what they call a sales funnel, and there's a specific kind of process to this, which I will give you in the specific email training, that goes from giving value content through to kind of bridging into selling people into coming to you for a chemistry session, or buying a time-limited coaching package, or if you've got a training course, selling them onto that training course that might be kind of complemented with a coaching offering that you've got. So that's a brief intro to what we're going to be tackling in this module. And I look forward to chatting to you more about the individual tools one by one.